Ultimate Mobility Analyst, and I want to thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the video comments. You know, on this blog site, I talk a lot about enterprise mobility. And enterprise mobility, especially when it's connected to a real-time enterprise, allows you to receive vast quantities of data. And receiving data all the time in large volumes actually requires brand new ways of thinking. Today, on this video comments, we're going to be talking about innovative approaches to thinking and new methodologies for thinking.
Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict reporting live this week from Boise, Idaho. Matter of fact, I'm here on the Boise State University campus next to the football complex, where Boise State has a reputation for not only being a great football team, but also having a unique playing field. The color is blue. Back in the late 80s, the athletic director decided that even though almost all the schools and universities out there had green turf, they were going to go out on a limb, be innovative, and have a blue turf, known here locally as the Smurf turf. When all the other schools out there were using green turf to emulate, even if it was artificial, they wanted to emulate grass, the folks here at Boise State said, you know what, why don't we do blue? It's artificial turf. We're not limited to green. That's innovative thinking. You know, universities of all kinds are designed not only to teach knowledge, but to teach critical thinking. Critical thinking today is more important than ever. In fact, one of the top military strategists of the 21st century, the late Colonel John Boyd, had a message that he always taught in his workshops. It was competitive thinking. He said, to be able to think better and quicker than your competition is the key to success. Today, let's spend some time discussing what John Boyd meant by that comment. The late Colonel John Boyd talked a lot and taught a lot about a concept called OODA, Observe, Orient, Decide, and Act. What did he mean by that? He meant that the key to success is how you think. What do you observe? Orient yourself to what that observation means to you. Decide what to do about it and act. And not just do that at a slow pace either. This is competitive decision making. The key to success is how can you observe things further than your opponent, understand them, or orient yourself faster than your opponent, decide what you're going to do about that observation orientation and act on it, and then do the whole cycle again. Look at it again by observing, orienting, deciding, and acting. Observing, orienting, deciding, and acting. Can you do that faster than your opponent? Let's explore that concept of competitive decision-making in more detail.
We're back at the office now. Let's pick up what we were discussing about Colonel John Boyd just a moment ago from Boise State University campus. You know, John Boyd teaches that the tempo or the speed in which you make decisions is the key to your success. Now let's relate that back into enterprise mobility. So many of us are starting to use enterprise mobility to enable the real-time enterprise, the ability to get real-time fast data from the field. So you know what's happening there. You know when changes need to be made, when people didn't show up, when supplies aren't there, when materials aren't there, or you need to contact the customer with a question, or you're still waiting on a permit so you can change your schedules. All that requires real-time communications and implementing enterprise mobility that support the real-time enterprise. And again, going back to what Boyd always says, the tempo in which you can process real-time data is the key to your success. You know, a lot of companies right now are trying to figure out their ROI for implementing enterprise mobility. And when they're talking about ROIs, it's important for them to think to themselves, what am I trying to accomplish? Am I trying to just be more productive or find efficiencies or cut costs? But in addition to that, you need to be considering when you're looking at ROIs, what your competition's doing. What if your competition is implementing the real-time enterprise, is implementing enterprise mobility that supports that, so they do know in real time where all their resources, assets, and materials are. where their demand is, where there's customer issues, so they can be on top of their operational area in real time. So their managers in the field have access to real-time information and the tools to solve any kinds of challenges that might arise throughout the day. They have all the mobile applications that they need to be able to be on top of it. What happens if your competition has enabled real-time and you have not? That's something we all need to be pondering, isn't it? Again, Boyd says the key to success is the tempo in which you can make decisions. And if you want to make fast, real-time decisions, you need real-time data to support that. Something we all have to keep in mind. How fast can you change from a plan A to a plan B to a plan C? How fast do you know you need to be changing from a plan A to a plan B to a plan C? Colonel Boyd calls that fast transits. How fast can you transition from one plan to another when the data tells you need to be doing that? That's why, last year I taught in 11 different countries, mobile strategies workshops, again, in 11 different countries. One of the first questions I ask in any of those workshops is, what tempo are you wanting to support in your company? That's a question every one of us need to be asking. Is a slow tempo okay? But what happens if your competition starts making decisions, resolving problems, and addressing customer issues in a lot faster tempo? We need to be thinking about that. That needs to play into your competitive analysis and potential ROIs or lack of ROIs when you're doing those kinds of things. Boyd preached again that the key to winning is the speed in which you change and adapt to changes, something we all need to be thinking about. Right now I'm running an enterprise mobility mid-year survey. If you haven't taken it, please, I need you to take it. Why? Because you take it, we'll all have better data. The more people that take it, the more accurate the data is, and you'll get the final copy of that report if you take the survey as well. And right now, the preliminary results say that the number 2 ROI that companies are wanting to get is the ability to make better real-time decisions. Better real-time decisions means better data. And better data in real time means you've implemented enterprise mobility that runs on a very fast tempo. With that, I want to thank you again for joining us on this video comments.